Oh, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And wow, we got another absolutely fantastic show today. We got a guest that's been on multiple times, and she is wonderful. And it's always great getting her insight on things, especially what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, in life, it requires sometimes that we have to make some adjustments in order to be able to keep up or stay balanced or whatever that situation might be. So we got a fantastic guest, and I'm not going to steal the thunder from Michelle right now. How you doing, Dr. Cooley? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm supposed to tell the title, not you.
Well, you will get an opportunity to tell the title once the show starts, but
Oh,
once we
no.
catch up all these things. But how's your day going so far?
It's going great. It's going day.
Oh yeah, and I see my main man Todd is in California studios enjoying that California weather. How you doing, Todd?
I'm doing well, James. Looking forward to today's show.
Man, I'm always looking forward to when having this guest on, man. Cause she, again, you might want to get you about 7, 8 bags of popcorn, cause you're gonna learn a whole lot. And I tell you, Todd, in Texas, man, it's kind of cold here now, man. It's,
Little chilly today too here in San Diego, but it's a nice break from that heat wave we were having about a month ago. But let's lock it in. Let's start the show.
Let's do it.
Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show.
Hello. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. We got this guest that's probably been on 8 to 10 times, maybe more, but you're going to see her a lot. She is absolutely fantastic, and Michelle's going to introduce her to you in a minute. But I tell you, whichever platform that you're watching us on, was it E36 TV, Transverse TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, over 68 live platforms. Welcome to the show. And if you want to be part of the show, all you have to do just pick up the phone. And just another one, pick up the phone. Dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. That's our studios in San Diego, KCBQ, AM 1170, The Answer, FM 96.1, The Answer, The Answer. Because we got answers for you today. So how you doing? How you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing great. We love having this guest on our show. I mean, she has so much wisdom, so much to offer. And, she's got this book out, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And I'm excited to reintroduce her again to the show and go over some of the things she's going to talk about.
Well, I don't know how you're going to introduce her because she's is a woman that wears like 50 hats. Author, evangelist. Michelle, can you do the honors and introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely magnificent guest?
Yes, the title of today's show is Life Requires Adjustments. And we're having a sit-down conversation with Dr. Stacey Bulluck. She's a CEO, transformational speaker, evangelist, media host, and author. She's going to discuss behavior alterations, what forward movement, the importance of influence, and what does it really mean to be mean? And it's an interesting quote, but I'm gonna let her talk about it. She is the owner and founder of Power in Resilience, workforce development and life coaching agency. She provides workforce development training and individual life skills training through the coaching agency. She's the president, CEO of Ordered Steps Incorporated, a nonprofit serving homeless women and formerly incarcerated women veterans. She's a best-selling author of 2 spiritual self-help books. And, she's got a 5th one. It's called Are You Present? And, also she is a military veteran. So I just want to stress that as well. So I'll let her tell you all about herself. Please welcome back to the show, Dr. Stacey Bulluck.
I love it. I love it. Thank you all so much for having me. That was that was a surprise, but that was fun. I love the claps and the cheers. It always makes you feel a little bit better.
But Stacey, you bring joy uh, to everything that I know about you, everything that you're doing. You put 100% into that, and changing lives, helping people out, um, influencing people. And we're gonna talk about influencing and all that stuff later. But can you tell our audience that might have missed you you many times on the show? Can you give them a brief understanding of who is Dr. Stacey Bulluck and what makes you click and why you're so passionate about everything that you do?
Oh my goodness. Who is Dr. Stacey Bulluck? I am a person who refuses to give up. That I believe is one of my strongest characteristics is that I am going to always try and find a way to get through. And that actually was a little not so good thing in my younger years because my parents looked at it as you always want to go against the grain. Well, sometimes going against the grain will get you to where you want to go. And that's what I like to have some impact on people's lives and helping them to understand that just because life might have thrown you a curveball, that does not mean you need to give up. That just means you need to change your approach, modify some things, make some adjustments, which we're going to talk about today.
And you know what? In life, just like you just mentioned, as we grow, as we mature, as we season, as whatever the situation might be, we have to make adjustments along the way. Because if a person is steadfast and doing the same thing when they was 20, now they 30, they still trying to do the same. Now they 40, they still trying to do 20. And when you're 50, you still trying to do 20. Um, I don't think it worked.
Mm.
we have to make adjustments as we grow, but also as we become more seasoned and more experienced in life, and from growing up, having kids, growing up, getting married, having kids. eh, eh, your grandkids not going to want to see you at 50 or 60 act like you're 20. Uh, so
Mm.
can you talk about why you chose life requires adjustments?
I want to piggyback on that grandkids statement that you made. I was actually last weekend on the East Coast and I spent some time with my two grandchildren, 15 and 7 years old. And I had to bribe them to help me clean up a certain area of the house. And the next day, they were fine, but I could barely move. So here I am in my late 50s trying to do what they did, but I didn't have the same outcome. They were up, spry, ready to go. I needed some pain meds and a heating pad. But life requires, life will require us to make some adjustments. You know what adjustment I made at the end, although it was too late, but I did realize it. I went ahead and sat down on the floor where we were working, and that just made it a little bit easier. I should have followed my granddaughter, who's 15 years old, who was sitting on the floor already doing what we needed to do. But we have to make adjustments simply to sometimes just make life easier. Sometimes we try to go through it, like you said, do stuff the same way we did when we were 20, when we we're 30, 40, 50. And then we realize that my body doesn't do the same thing. My mind doesn't think the same way. So now it's time to make that adjustment so that I can grow, so that we can grow.
Oh, Stacy, why is it so hard for many of us to understand that we have to change our mindsets in doing things? Otherwise, we become antiquated and we get caught in the past because we don't want to move forward because many feel comfortable and doing the same thing every day. what would you tell those out there that are refusing to make adjustments?
You said a key word. You said comfortable. Most people want to remain in their comfort zone. That is a complacent place that will stifle your dreams. Complacency causes us to remain in the same state of being. We need to understand that in order for us to accomplish anything in life, I mean, anything, in order for us to accomplish, let me see, I don't know, just thinking different, the mindset different, we might have to change our environment. Sometimes there's lack of funding to do that. Sometimes there's lack of motivation. Most of the time, people just want to remain comfortable. People want things easy. Life is not easy. Sometimes it can be when we get into a flow of things, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But if we stay stagnant, life will become stuck. I wrote a book called Don't Let Your Brain Go Numb, Regaining Power Through Resilience. And it talks about simply just being stuck.
Being stuck in your comfort zone and not realizing that you might be the only one there. And everybody else has bypassed because everybody else is making, not everybody, but many around are making adjustments and understanding that life situations change and we have to change with the time. That means we have to be flexible with our mindset. And I tell you what, Stace, we're going to take a station break, but I can tell you already that this is going to be extraordinary conversation. I can't wait to get back after the break to pick it back up. And I tell you, our audience out there, if you want to be part of this great conversation with Dr. Stacey Bulluck, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any questions that you might have, or pick up the phone and call Todd in our KCBQ studios at 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Listen up. It's Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Hey.
Age Story by James J.C. Cooley. Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural Deep South town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And one of my most favorite peeps, I call her my peeps, my little sister in the world. That's Dr. Stacey Bulluck. And hey, remember that name. She got her own show as well. She's going to talk a little bit about that one. But, you know, making life adjustment means sometimes taking vacations. And so, Michelle and I, we're taking vacation beginning Saturday. And guess who's going to be hosting my show? Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Dr. Stacey Bulluck. You know, hey, Todd, she's going to be communicating back and forth with you, man. She's going to be hosting the show beginning Monday, so it's gonna be extraordinary. Oh yeah. So hey Stacey, what I want to pick it back up from where you started from. Can you pick it back up where we left off?
Sure, we were talking about being stuck and being stagnant. And in my new book, I discovered that I wrote, sometimes you write a book and you write it and then you look at it about 6 months later and like, oh, wow, that's a really good point. So I said, has anybody ever seen someone who is dead, just sitting there in the office? Just think if you walk in and there's somebody sitting in their chair, but they're unalive. They're stagnant. Think about that as life. Because next thing that has to happen, somebody has to come and take them out, put them in a different place, put them in a different position. So we don't want to be stagnant or stuck in life, because now we put ourselves in somebody else's hands. And when we put our life into someone else's hand, guess what? Now they're going to be the director of your life. But this is, as the show says, it's your life. And you are the one who has to be in control of it. Don't let anybody else come and be in control of who you are, where you are, and how you are.
Oh, wow. Well put. Because the decision that one makes is, I'm telling you, you might have inputs from a lot of other factors of people, but you have to be in control of your life. And thanks for giving me that plug. It's your life. So Stace, you're doing so many things out here, and I want to talk about your new book that you just released. And I know you've been on book tour. And I think you're getting ready to go back on another one. But I think you just got back from the Maryland, D.C. area last week, book signings and all that.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, can you tell our viewers and our listeners how your book, I think it's extraordinary, fits into them making adjustments in life?
Well, the book is titled, Are You Present? A-R-E, Are You Present? Are you cognizant enough to be aware of your body, how it's feeling in a moment? Sometimes that's very important, because people miss the signs that your own body is telling you that you need something. You may need air, you may need water, but the book, when I wrote it, interestingly enough, the cover of it, I had taken it in Long Beach, California, about a year and a half prior to me writing the book. And when I took the photo, it was beautiful. I was taking a picture of the sunset and the port of Long Beach when at a certain time of year, it is absolutely gorgeous. It looks almost golden. However, I missed the man and the dog that were in the photo. That were in the photo. When I went home to edit, here's this man and this dog in the photo that I missed, and they were probably about 20 yards away from me. Now, the port was, oh my goodness, it was probably about a good 4 or 5 miles away from me. But see, if we're not present enough in our own life, we will miss the opportunities that are right in front of us, that are within reach. Instead of, yes, we should have goals. We should have long-term goals and short-term goals. But while you're on your way to your goals, stay present enough to be able to interact with the gifts that are right in front of you, with the resources that are right in front of you. Don't miss those, because they will be intricate parts of you getting to your long-term goal.
Wow. And you're absolutely right. And so as we talking about today, the title of the show is Life Requires Adjustments. And as you see, Dr. Stacey is eloquently putting it down, explaining that, you're in control of your own life. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, we take inputs from others and other factors, but the ultimate decision that we make comes from us. and remember, all outside influences are not good. I mean, you don't react on everything somebody tell you. Otherwise, you find yourself on the wrong side of everything. Before we start, we're talking about influence. I want to give Laura Everett Tate a shout out. I miss you, sister. I can't wait to get you on the show. I see that you're watching. Just let me know when you're ready. So, hey, Stacey, influencers. A lot of people don't know what that is. Right? Remember, outside influencers, whatever. And we have to weave through, at least I think, weave through whoever is talking to us, because all advice and all information, not good information. It's other people information that could be valuable or could be hurtful, depending on where you're at. Can you talk about influence and why it's good and why it's not good for some?
Well, let's talk about the good of it. And the influence that I am most familiar with is through leadership. And being a leader, you have to have influence. In the military, they said a good leader has the ability to influence people to do things that they would not normally do. And from that standpoint of it, the good part of it is that you can influence people to do things to get them motivated to accomplish their goals, to become aware of who they are. I wrote a life mission statement for myself, and my mission statement for myself is that I influence others to fulfill their purpose, which in turn now helps me to fulfill mine, because that's what I'm here to do, is to guide people and lead them in the right direction. Now, other influences can stop you from achieving your goals. And I want to call those distractions. I want to, call those taking you off your plan. Don't allow others' influence to come in your life because they want to be comfortable, because they want to be complacent. Let's just make it plain and simple, because they want to have a lazy mindset. Then you'll be distracted from accomplishing your own goals. It's nothing worse than somebody telling you you can't or do not do something. That's the worst thing that you can grab a hold to.
Wow. You just mentioned something. When I was completing one of my masters, organization leadership and management, I put part of my thesis, leadership and influence is so important. However, if as a leader, as you just mentioned, you know, there's a definition of having people to follow you and want to be behind you. And my definition of a leader is a leader leads by example, first of all. If you want someone to follow you, you got to get the buy-in that they see that you're doing what they're going to do. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite. I'm just going to say it. And a leader leads by example. A leader knows the way in their mind and through their experiences. They show the way, but most important, they go the way. If you tell somebody you're gonna do something, they say, "I want you to do this, I want you to do that," and you ain't doing it, that's a problem. I mean, because people gonna look at you like, "Oh, I already know this. I ain't going there. I ain't following him." So well, we're gonna pick it back up when we get backstage. So we're gonna take a station break, and when we get back, I'm gonna get my producer, my main man, my producer for the last 6 years, get a quick opinion of what he is pulling in, what he's getting from this. And I tell you, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do, just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have in the comments, or pick up the phone and call Todd. That's right. Call my producer Todd in our KCBQS studios. And I tell you, all you have to do is pick up the phone, dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z, and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
to understand that their current situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet, is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, by Dr. James Cooley, on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I always, when I have this guest on, that she's so inspiring, so knowledgeable, speak the word of God, tell you the truth, influence you, or maybe discourage you because you don't want to know what the truth is. And somebody told me to do this, and they told me to do that. I'm going with them. You better go with you. You better go with you. But before I bring Todd on for a quick second, now I want to give a shout out to Pastor Gary and Pastor Gina Jackson. I miss you guys. I see you watching. I love you guys. Let's talk real soon. Hey, we're family. So I tell you, whichever platform that you're watching this on, whether it's E360 TV, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, E3, I mean, all the different platforms, over 60. Welcome to the show. And why are you not communicating with Dr. Stacey now? If you want to communicate with us, all you have to do is go to the comments. Whichever platform that you're watching for, ask any questions that you might have. Or you can pick the phone up and call my main man, Todd, in our KCBQ, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer Studios in San Diego, California. Hey, Todd, what you think about the show so far, man?
Oh, it's always a great show when you have Dr. Bulluck on, and I feel like I'm going through the fast food. I'm picking up little nuggets here and there, all these, these nuggets that are going to stay with me. But, just like a good team who does what they're supposed to do, they've got a good coach. So we all need a good life coach out there. And that's what Dr. Bulluck is.
Hey, Todd, you just brought something up that's so important, because anything that we're doing, athletes have, even though they are players and they need coaches, coaches need coaches. I mean, outside coaches. We all need coaches. We need coaches in life. We need coaches in everything we do. When we're trying to coach ourselves and say, hey, if you are 32.2, you're telling yourself that you're a football player and ain't nobody showed you how to do it or kind of taught you how to do it. You're trying to coach yourself, and sometimes it don't work. It don't. Dr. Stacey, what are your thoughts on that?
It won't work because we don't get to see ourselves fully. We only see what we want to see. And it just reminded me when I was writing my first book, this is back in 2006. And oh my goodness, I went round and round and round with a young lady that I had asked to edit my book. She kept telling me that the sentence said one thing, but because I knew what I wanted it to say, I kept saying, it does say that. It does say that. It took me a day. I had to put the book down, come back and read it again. And I said, you know what? It does not say what I thought it said.
Hey, Stacey, hold that thought. Because one of the books that I wrote, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet. I didn't say, I said ain't over yet. Person that was helping me with this, like, wow, you don't want to say that's not perfect English. I said, I am trying to convey what, how I grew up, the words that was actually, talking about real world thing that was done. Ain't, ain't over yet means it's not over yet. And so I understand what you just said is having a coach and knowing what your thoughts are, especially you're right, just like me, when you know what you're trying to convey to your audience. Sometimes it doesn't require perfect English. That makes any sense.
Yeah. You got to know your audience. You have to know who you're addressing. You have to know this so that you can have an impact, so that you can have influence. What we just got finished talking about. Sometimes people can you imagine I'm going to talk to a group of fifth graders and I start talking about trigonometry. Well, they're not going to get it. They're not going to understand it. And I can actually go back to last weekend when I was working with my granddaughter who's about to turn 16, and then my grandson who's 7. And I had to break things down so that he would be able to get it. And I literally had to give him instructions step by step. And sometimes you have to do that. You can't speak in vague language. Like I could tell my granddaughter to go and get something, and she would understand that, okay, if I go get this, the next step is. Now, my grandson at 7, he haven't been here long enough to know what the next steps are. So we have to tell him. And we have to be okay with being able to give somebody proper instructions.
Wow. That's amazing. We have a listener on Andrea Lee. She says, she just wanted to know, what are the benefits of having a coach?
Oh my goodness. Andrea Lee is actually a great coach herself. So let me give the Dr. Stacey answer. The benefits, like I said, we don't always see us in the right light. Some of our flaws have become so normal to us, if I can say, that we don't even regard them as being something that is now a distraction and stopping us from reaching our goals. Let me use losing weight for an example. Well, when you have a coach, that individual is going to give you a diet plan. You can't go home and go against that diet plan and think you're going to have the outcome that you paid this person to get, and you're not following the outline. We need somebody to give us sometimes an outline, and sometimes it has to be written or it can be verbal, but we need that.
Oh, most definitely. It's like you're asking for help, but you're not doing the necessary steps in order to receive that help. And you know what? We're getting ready to take a commercial break right now, but I see exactly what you're talking about, Stacey. It's like, what is the point? You're wasting your time and you're wasting that person's time, and we don't want to do that. So, hey, audience, please join us. We're going into break right now. It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We will be right back with our guest, Dr. Stacey Bulluck.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many Black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many Black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
at CooleyFoundation.org.
In this life you are gonna grow, but there's things in this world that you gotta know. To be the best that you can be, you wanna grow real big into a strong tree. To be who you're created to be, the one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. But you got to have these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the 4 C's. Gotta have it. Oh, yeah. It's the 4 C's.
Selection of Temecula wine.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, this absolutely fantastic guest here is, always, every time that she's on, fantastic. Always bring a wealth of knowledge. Always encourage us to dream big, think big, and be big at everything we do. But also make adjustments as they are required. And Stacey, you are absolutely fantastic, and you know it. You know we love you. And I want to pick the show back. I'm gonna turn it back over to Michelle, but I want to pick it back up on the last question that you asked, Michelle.
Oh, Dr. Stacey and I were talking about, we had a viewer ask what are the benefits of having a life coach. And Dr. Stacey was breaking it down. And basically you have to, if you're asking for help, you have to be open to receive the help that you ask for. So what's the purpose of asking if you're wasting your time, you're wasting other person's time? And I think that's part of how your life requires adjustments. Can you kind of segue into that, Dr. Stacey?
Absolutely. The word that came to my mind is willing. We have to make sure that in making adjustments, don't take off really big chunks that you can't handle, that your willingness will dwindle in the middle of the process before you get to your end goal. Willingness is such a huge component. Even in the Bible, it talks about if you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land. What does that mean? If I'm willing to obey the steps in the process that I've been given, even if it comes from a life coach or it comes from influence that you feel that is positive to make changes in your life, if we are willing to do that, and obedience, I'm not telling you that, I woke up one morning and obedience was my favorite thing to do. No, it was not. I said in the beginning of the program that I was one as a young child that I was always trying to go against the grain. I didn't want to hear the process that somebody else had to take, even though somebody had more wisdom than me. And sometimes in this day and age, there's lots of knowledge out there. You can get knowledge from anywhere, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. But do you have the wisdom to know how to navigate with this knowledge? And sometimes that's where we fall short as well. We need wisdom to go along with knowledge. We need some common sense. But we got to make sure, first and foremost, that we are willing to make the adjustments. And sometimes there are things that come in life that cause us to have to make adjustments. Say um, somebody tells you that you have a disease or something, but if you do this, it'll be okay. So
Mhm.
that's, you got to kick in that willingness, because if you've been eating chocolate chip cookies all your life, and then all of a sudden somebody tell you, well, that's not really good for you, then that's where you're going to have to say, I'm willing to make the best choice for
Mhm.
myself. And people, please hear me. If you don't hear nothing else today, be willing to make the best choices for your life.
Amen to that. So, complaining about your situation in life, and you have the tools and you have the coaching, you have everything in front of you to make those adjustments, but you want to stay in the same spot. You want to stay in your old habits. Yeah, your mind says, I want better than this, but you become people are sometimes so comfortable in their mess that when they go into something different, it's like what they call it. It's like a withdrawal. Like an addict when they're getting off of a substance. It's like a withdrawal. They have this, the shakes, and it's like so foreign to them. But if you want to do the best and get your life back on track to where it's the best for you, you're going to have to clean some stuff out and withdraw from some stuff. Sometimes it may be difficult in the beginning because you're so used to it, but at
Mhm.
the end, it's a beautiful thing. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So unfortunately, some people do get addicted to a lot of things.
Mhm.
And then, when it's a drug that actually is controlling your body and control, or let me say, or, because there are drugs that do different things. They control your body and your mind, and or your mind. And we have to be, again, there's that word, willing to break some habits. I can't stress the importance of breaking things that are not beneficial for you. It even may require you to walk away from some relationships. But we have to say, look at the big picture and ask yourself, and be willing again to tell yourself the truth. Is this beneficial for me? Some people, they lie to themselves to keep themselves in that comfortable position. And when we tell ourselves lies, that does not give us any opportunity. It takes away every opportunity that we have to be successful.
You know what? You said something. You said sometimes it may mean breaking away from certain relationships. I'll just give you an example. You're for some, you is a group of people, whether it's men or women, that at your job you like sitting and talking with, but all they do all day is dog and gossip about other people. That's not beneficial to me. That's not beneficial for my life. Oh, but they're fun. It's like, okay, they're fun, but eventually it's gonna rub off on you and you don't even realize it is doing it. What are your thoughts on that? And just this kind of example I gave.
Just think about it when it comes time for promotion. People are going to look at what you've done, what you've accomplished. And if you're sitting around talking and gossiping, guess what? There's probably not too much innovation going on. You're not using your creative thought pattern, you're not using your critical thinking skills, and people are looking for this from employees. And if you own your own business, oh my goodness, it's going to go down quick. If you're hanging with people who don't want to soar. And let me just give you my little acronym for the word SOAR: self observation, adjustments, alignments, and resilience. Because you're going to need all of those to be successful.
You're gonna need all those to be successful. And you mentioned soar. Soar like or with the Eagles in order to stay on your game. And I'll tell you, Stacey, I am so looking forward to you hosting my show next week. I think that you the best choice. I already told you, you already know how I feel. And I think that you're going to enjoy working with Todd. Todd is the greatest. I'm telling you. I mean, everybody at KCBQ Studios are great. But
Thanks,
Todd
James.
he was my first producer. He's my producer now. I refuse to have anybody. I mean, I'm not saying it like that. But he's fantastic. Stays touch base with Todd first chance you get, so you guys can be on the same sheet of music. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. It's Your Life with myself and Dr. Michelle Cooley. I'd like to thank Michelle for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. She always do. I'd like to thank our studios at KCBQ, AM 1170 Answer, FM 96.1, for giving me an opportunity to syndicate it, all this on a radio show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live around the world, and also on all these other platforms. As always, I want everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's Your Life, and we'll see you then.
Before you vote, learn the facts about Prop 3. I'm Randy Thomason of SaveCalifornia.com. We've been fighting for children and families in California since 1999. Prop 3 is not about same-sex marriages, but would insert